So yeah, some of you guys were asking questions on that thread, on that Facebook group thread and whatnot. And then again, we're gonna be covering. I wanted to cover a couple of uh, techniques, if you would. I know that some of you guys are already, advertising on Facebook for the most part, or some of you guys are. Some of you guys want to start doing that. And my idea with today is give you guys some quick wins and some quick strategies and techniques that you can go ahead and deploy, which are working really, really well for local and non-local businesses. Um, but the main point of today is to give you some tools, as to how to target for local, what type of, structures of campaigns to run, what type of campaigns and objectives to run and whatnot. And based off of that, if you guys require a complete training, top to bottom, left to right, we can definitely do that. I personally don't like doing other than this, right? Like live training, because Facebook changed the UX like 48 hours ago. I was telling Bradley, dude, I'm having a hard time, trying to find shit, whatnot, because Facebook changed everything. So every time we make or I make rather, a Facebook training, it got outdated like 2 weeks after that, because Facebook changes. They really like changing stuff. But anyways, I wanted to share with you guys some quick wins and whatnot, and some overarching principles that you can use when it comes to targeting on Facebook and using Facebook for lead gen, because for local it works really, 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 really extremely well. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing the screen. And all right, you guys should be seeing my screen, right? Can you confirm?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Okay, cool. So yeah, we're gonna focus on Facebook ads for local lead gen right now. And again, if you guys have any questions throughout this presentation, please drop them in the comments below. And if you're watching the replay, if you have questions after the fact, don't be afraid of posting them on the Facebook group and tag me in those questions. I usually have the Facebook group silenced, because otherwise nothing would ever get done, not even this presentation. But anyways, if you guys are in the mastermind group, just post your questions there in case we don't make it today, and tag me in them. I will be more than happy to help you guys out. All right, so we're going to be focusing on Facebook ads for local lead gen. Now, before we dive into that, I'm going to be sharing with you three main things, okay, today, like three pillars, if you would, or three strategies that you can use to actually mine some of the data that is within Facebook and whatnot. And then I'm going to, but first I wanted to actually go through some overarching principles when it comes to Facebook advertising. Again, some of you guys are aware of this because you're advertising already on Facebook, but some of you guys might not be advertising on Facebook, so this is important. So we're going to cover local targeting, how to properly target, when you're doing local specifically, how to target an area with Facebook ads. I noticed that a lot of people get caught up in this targeting side of things, because the targeting capabilities on Facebook are different from any other network. So I'm going to tell you guys how to leverage the power of Facebook data to actually properly target, and get, the most bang from your buck. Then we're going to be talking a little bit about lead ads, how to use them properly, and some offer considerations. Usually offers for Facebook lead ads in general, or for Facebook local ads in general, are really, really important. They're different than click to calls campaign on Google Ads or any other type of PPC, for a couple of reasons. We're going to be diving into that. And then we're going to be talking about retargeting audiences. And I want to share with you guys some results that we have been having with Semantic Mastery. Granted, we're not local oriented, but these results are results that we're seeing left and right, even with local clients as well, and how to use them for certain specific type of businesses, because I know that some of you guys have been asking about how do I target, I don't know, injury attorney, or hurricane protection, or hurricane, that type of stuff, which is a really specific way of targeting on Facebook. So that is something that we're going to be talking about, and then we're going to dive into the Q&A if you guys have any questions. So first off, let's talk about Facebook versus other networks. Again, some of you guys know about this, some of you guys are kind of new to Facebook, and the reality is that Facebook is based on interruption marketing. It's not like Google, where somebody types in a keyword or an intent base, an intent query, and even YouTube could be based off of interruption, but also there's intent there when you have keywords. So think about this: like when people are just scrolling on Facebook, they're mindlessly, quote unquote, scrolling. They're checking out what's going on with their relatives, with their friends. They're checking out gossip and watching kitten videos. It's not a network where people are actively intending to find a product or service. That's why I'm saying that it's interruption marketing. That means that we need to be really sexy with what we're putting out there in terms of the creatives and how we're stopping people on their tracks in order for us to actually go ahead and have better results with Facebook. Think about YouTube, but YouTube like pre-roll ads or in-stream ads, that type of interruption, or Google Display. Like Google Display is kind of the same thing, where you're just placing a banner somewhere where people are not looking for to get an offer. They're just scrolling around. Now the reality is that we can target on Facebook, or the most of the targeting will be behaviorally based, demographics and interest based instead of intent based, right? You can go the keyword route on Facebook at up to some extent, but mostly it would be interest and behavior based. Okay. And also have in mind, as I mentioned, that Facebook is a social network and people are trying to be social. So if you think about, for instance, on YouTube, people are trying to either be entertained or learn something, right? On Google Ads, when you're talking about search ads, people are wanting to solve a need right there and then. Facebook is a social network. That's why usually stock photos or polish videos or polish ads, the type of videos or photos that you will post on LinkedIn, for instance, they actually perform worse on Facebook than in other networks. So for instance, if you're trying to make, I don't know, to launch some ads for a local contractor, you may even want to have a picture of the guy working, the top of the roof, then have a stock picture taken with a phone, then have a stock picture, for that ad. And the reason why is because, again, we're talking about being social, right? So when you go into this mentality of socially relatable type of pictures, and even like shitty pictures that are being taken with the phone, or even shitty videos that are being filmed with the phone, those work really, really well. And the reality is that Google is becoming really, really good when it comes to in-market audiences and whatnot, but the behavior data points and the demographic and the interest that Facebook manages is second to none. And not only because Facebook is a social network, but also because Facebook has Instagram, they have WhatsApp, they have Facebook Messenger. So they have a lot of data points, and there's a reason why we need to be aware of this, because you can use that to your benefit and to your campaign benefit. Okay, to pay less per lead or pay less per click or whatever that is. So now, when it comes to optimizing specifically, and
Hey,
this is,
hey,
yeah,
Hernan, before
yeah,
you
go ahead.
move on,
Yeah.
on that panel before this, where you say Facebook has the most advanced AI in the marketplace, how do we know that?
I mean, in terms of targeting and in terms of demographic, uh, the reality is that when you're feeding, and we're gonna go through that, when you're feeding enough data points to the algorithm, you can actually be super, super broad on your campaigns, and Facebook will get you leads and buyers. So,
All
for
right,
instance,
so this is just it's an explicit statement for ads, right? And how
mhm,
it draws the information
yes,
on who to display the ads for. Okay, got it. Thanks.
yes, yeah, yeah, no problem, no problem. So, for instance, I was working on a campaign a couple of weeks ago, and granted, the Pixel had a lot of data and they had a lot of purchasers, right, on the Pixel. So the Pixel knew who was purchasing that product, and all we did was and we did this for e-commerce, for info products and whatnot, and all we did was to target everyone in the US. So we target US men and women 1865. That's it. Automatic placements, like everyone in the US. We had 300 million people in our audience. And Facebook will go out there and show the ads to people that are prone to convert. And it was giving us buyers within KPI. That means that it was giving us buyers for what we wanted to pay for a buyer. So that's what I meant. So thank you for clarifying that, Marco. So now, um, if you go into the Facebook ads platform, you will notice that there's an overload of information, right? So it's really important when it comes to local, but not only for local. If you're doing like a nationwide type of campaign or whatever that is, it's really important that you pick your North Star metric. I mean, your most important metric, and pretty much forget the rest. Like, I get a lot of people caught up with, metrics like relevance score, or how much am I paying per post engagement, how much am I paying for this and that, or the CPM, right, the cost per 1,000 impressions. And if you're getting leads for what you want to be paying for a lead, for a local contractor or a local lawyer or chiropractor, whatever that is, if you're paying leads, if you're getting leads for what you want to pay per lead, who gives a shit about relevance score, right? It doesn't matter how much you're paying on the CPM side of things. It doesn't matter what your CTR is. The reality is that you want to pick your North Star for the most part. On our case, it's going to be your cost per lead. But for instance, for Semantic Mastery, which we're selling info products on some funnels, is our cost per acquisition, right? We know that when we're running Facebook ads for the battle plan funnel, for instance, where we have cold traffic going for the battle plan funnel, we have a cost per acquisition of $50 or less, right? If we're getting buyers for $50, then we're way in the black. So do not get frightened or overwhelmed or intimidated, but by all of the data that you can actually get from the Facebook uh, dashboard. And this is something that is also, like with Google Ads, it's happened the same thing. Just pick your North Star metric, like what is the most important metric, and have a number for that, right? So whatever you're willing to pay per lead, if you're reselling leads, whatever you're willing to pay per lead in terms of how much margin you want to make on each lead, that should be your North Star. So forget the rest, right? Forget the CTR, forget the relevance score. This will make your things easier, your life easier. So what are you looking for? Are you looking for cost per lead, cost per acquisition, cost per call? The cost per call, like there's a way that you can actually do tap to call campaigns on Facebook, which is really effective. But unfortunately, for whatever reason right now, you cannot see how much you're paying per call. You need to see that on your tracking solution. So for instance, if you're using Callfire and you spent $200 last week and you got 10 calls, then you know that you're spending $20 per call, right? This is not a metric that is native to Facebook. You'll need to figure this out with a calculator, I guess. And this is something why most local Facebook ads do not work. And here's the thing, Facebook relies heavily on the creative, and the creative means the combination of the copy, right, the text, with the image. The image is like 80% of your real estate on Facebook, right? Whenever you're scrolling on your phone, for instance, the image will take up 80% of the screen. So the image and the copy will play a big part of your success. What I mean is that a lot of people, on Facebook, you can run. So, for instance, the difference between Facebook and Google Ads is that with Google Ads, you could have the same creatives running for a long time, right? You set up a banner, like a dynamic banner that you can now create, those dynamic ads that are awesome, or you could have the same search result for a long time, for months, without changing it, and that could work, right? Facebook, the reality is that they're trying to keep things fresh. Okay, so for instance, if you launch a campaign and it's working for 3 or 4 weeks, and then after 3 or 4 weeks you didn't do any major changes, and you're noticing that the campaign performance is getting worse and worse and worse, meaning you're paying more per lead, that means that it might be a good time to refresh your creatives. Maybe try another image, or maybe try a different first line on the copy and whatnot, because again, Facebook wants to keep a fresh platform. And even if you haven't reached your entire audience, if you're targeting millions of people and you're only spending $20 per day, um, you will notice that the performance of your campaign tends to do worse and worse as the creatives are being burned out. All right, so this is something that you may want to consider. Anyone wanted to say something?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So, and even further, when you're targeting local. So when you're targeting local, let's say that you're targeting a town of 30,000 people, which on Facebook will be considered a micro quote unquote audience. When you're targeting them, they will start seeing your ad over and over and over again along a lot of time, right? A decent amount of times. So what you want to do is to refresh your creatives. At that point, your local campaigns will work better if you launch a video or if you launch another image. It can be the exact same image, But you know how we are doing with, sometimes we are optimizing images on Google, and we, I don't know, we increase the contrast of an image, and we increase, or we turn that image black and white, or we mirror that image, right? Or we crop it slightly. Those are images that will fool the machine into thinking that is a completely brand new creative, okay? A brand new image that you put in there. And you will notice that this it's a sign that you need to refresh your creatives or refresh your ads, when you're noticing that no matter what, who you're targeting, the cost per acquisition is going up, the cost per lead is going up. Okay, so those are two things that you want to have in mind when you're optimizing for local ads. Okay, let's talk a little bit about targeting. Okay, uh, we mentioned a little bit ago that that Facebook has a lot of data of its users. It has much more data that you could possibly have, that I could possibly have, that we could possibly have, even if you know your marketplace intimately. Let's say that you have been working with contractors all your life, or you have been working with, I don't know, chiropractors all your life. You might know who to target, right? You might know what to target and what not to do on Facebook. But Facebook has a lot of data, regardless. So you want to let Facebook do the heavy lifting for you. What I mean is that you want to go broad on your audiences, and then let both Facebook, with all of its data and all of the data points that you will be feeding to Facebook, and your creative, meaning your copy saying something like, um, do you need tree pruning service, right? Something like that. You know that people clicking or scroll or stopping on that ad or clicking on that ad, it is because behaviorally they're interested in what you have to offer, right? Or are you looking to learn mixed martial arts, or are you looking to get a massage? That type stuff will allow you to, whenever people are clicking on your ad, or they're watching a video, which is something I'm gonna tell you guys about in a second. They're watching a video, they're behaviorally saying, yes, I'm interested in what you have to say, right? Even if they don't become leads at the end of the day. So you want to target broad. I see a lot of people saying, all right, I'm gonna target these 5 zip codes, and I'm gonna target, I don't know, people that like interior design, and I'm gonna layer that with I don't know, with homeowners, and that might be too restrictive for Facebook to do its job. Okay, so don't be afraid to target broad, to target everyone in the location at some point, and let the creative do its thing, or maybe use super big interest, which is something that I'm going to tell you guys how to do in a second. Okay, now as I told you before, the more data you feed in the pixel, the better results you will get. That means that you need to have the pixel installed on your website, on your funnels, and on your, on your landing page, your thank you page. You want to have the pixel, the Facebook pixel installed for your ad account. If you're doing this for a client, you want to have him install the pixel, because Facebook will follow the user, not only within Facebook, right? When they are engaging, when they're clicking, when they're liking, when they're commenting, when they're sharing their that stuff. Not only they will follow and track the user within Facebook, but they will track user outside of Facebook, right? When they're in your website. So each channel, what they're doing is, right now it's something called advanced matching, which is basically adding name, email, phone number to each pixel. Okay, to each pixel fire. So if I visit semanticmastery.com, I will get tagged with my first name, last name, email, and phone number, and that is real data. And the reason why we know it's real data, because those are the emails and phone numbers and their name that Facebook are using, that people are using to log into Facebook, right? They're not trash emails. They're not trash or throwaway cell phones. Those are the data, those are the details that people are using to serve Facebook. And also, this is another question that I noticed. I think it was on the thread. Is what time of the day should I run my ads? And the reality is that Facebook is a momentum-based platform. What I mean is that a campaign, it's not like Google. Google, you turn it off, boom, you start getting impressions. You turn it off, boom, you stop, right? It's like an on and off switch, pretty much. With Facebook, it's a momentum-based platform. What it means is that the more a campaign runs, usually the better it becomes. because the pixel becomes more and more smart, becomes smarter as time goes by. So some people will, so for instance, I was consulting with a client the other day, and she was telling me that she does local, um, uh, she's like this AA counseling. So she will do drinking counseling locally, and she wanted to get people, with drinking problems. So what she would do is she would shut off her ads, let's say at 6 p.m. manually every day at 6 p.m. She will log in and shut off her ads, and the reason why is because she thought that by 6 p.m. everyone was hammered, and nobody, if somebody came through her funnel, it wouldn't work, right? So she wanted to catch people, or to get people throughout the early stages of the day, right? Which made total sense. So I told her, listen, do not shut off your ads, just leave them running. Facebook will increase the impressions during those time of the days where people are more prone to convert, right? And that thing alone prevented her from going in, shutting off her ads, and turning them on again every day at 7 a.m. in the morning. And not only that, but we decreased the cost per lead in half just by doing that, because she was kind of tampering with the Facebook algorithm, and then she wouldn't allow the pixel to actually learn that most of the people that converted through her funnel was during the morning. You know what I'm saying? So let Facebook do the heavy lifting for you. Do not shut off during weekends. If there's no traction during the weekends, Facebook will not show your ads. Okay, and even further, day parting on Facebook is one of their worst features right now. By Facebook will tell you, do not use day parting, it sucks. Right? They will tell you that. So do not, just leave stuff running. Leave stuff running unless you 100% positively need to shut off the campaign. Like, I don't know, the offer is no longer active, or your client does not work on weekend, whatever, right? And here's another little tip: when it comes to local, when you're targeting clients and whatnot, you can shorten the learning curve massively if you use the client's existing assets. What I mean is that if you use their page likes, if they already have their pixel installed and you create a custom audience based on pixel, right, on general retargeting, if you upload their leads, if you upload their leads list to Facebook, or their customers, right? If you upload them to Facebook and create a custom audience, and then you create a lookalike audience, which is something like a similar audience on Google, right? You can shorten the learning curve dramatically, because you're telling Facebook, hey, Facebook, here's a sample of people that I want you to target, similar people, and then you can go from a couple thousand subscribers or leads or whatever to a couple million, right? And they will use something like 170 data points or something crazy like that to match those 2 to 3 million people to that initial seed audience. And that can shorten the learning curve a lot, all right? Or the learning curve for the pixel, and you can get results much, much faster. So this is when it comes to targeting. I'm gonna be walking you guys through the process of targeting in a second, all right? Now, another thing that I see that a lot of people are not using effectively is something called lead ads. All right. So let me actually show you how lead ads work. So let me go, and I'm going to create a campaign, and let's call this lead ads test, right? And we're going to use this objective right here. So actually, let me switch to guided creation. So this is, a little bit more visual to you guys. So as you can see, you have awareness, you have consideration, and conversions. You always want to start with the end in mind. What I mean is that if you're looking for leads or conversions, do not use engagement. Do not use traffic. Just go ahead and use conversions. Use lead generation. If you're looking, I don't know, if you're looking to get, I don't know, again, conversions, do not use brand awareness or reach unless you're doing a tap to call campaign, which is only possible with this objective, with the reach objective. Okay. So let's go with lead generation. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to name this lead generation test. And then I'm going to click on continue. All right. And here you want to use your client's Facebook page, of course, and lead ads have their own terms of service. If you haven't, in this case we have, But if your client hasn't, they haven't accepted the terms of service for the lead ads, you can actually accept them here. And then here's where the magic happens. Okay, I was telling you guys that you can shorten the learning curve a lot if you upload a list of leads, and then you can do it here. You can create a new custom audience from here, right? And then you can upload the list right here, and that will allow you to create a custom audience or a lookalike audience. So let's see if we have any lookalike audience here shared with this account. Let's see. So for instance, I don't know, butter plum buyers, right? So we grabbed all of our butter plum buyers, we uploaded them, and we create a lookalike audience. And this is normal. Don't pay attention to this where it says fewer than 1,000 people. This is Facebook bug. Just keep on, keep on progressing through your targeting, and it will be, it will be fine. So locations, again, if I wanted to target somebody in, I don't know, let's go after tree service in Virginia, to follow an example for Bradley right here. What I would like to do is I would do Culpeper, right? Culpeper, Virginia, and then you wanna figure out who is like what's the limit of targeting that you want to go after. Let's say 25 miles, or let's say that this contractor only does 10 miles, right? But as you can see, if I'm layering a lookalike audience, apparently we don't have a lot of people on this lookalike audience from Culpeper, right? So if you're layering a lookalike audience with the location, it might be that you don't have enough people. I would target to the entire city, right? This is not a huge city right here. So let me get rid of lookalike right here, and we see how many people. So we have 30,000 people. Now let's go after, let's say 30, 65 plus. Let's see, 27,000 people. That's fine. And you know what? For this type of audience, I wouldn't choose anyone else. Like honestly, I could go into, for instance, homeowners. Let's see if that's a thing. So homeowner association. Let's see, home improvement, new house, home improvement, like you want to target people that are into making their house look nicer, or uh, home improvement or home renovation type of, because homeowners is not an interest that you can target anymore. So you want to circumvent that by targeting people that are into this type of ads, right? Or this type of home improvement, for instance, right? Renovation. Let's see, well, we have first time buyers, or let's see, home improvements, and whatnot. So you want to go after this. But let's be super really broad right here, and let's do Facebook do its thing. Now when it comes to placements, again, when it comes to placements for this city right here, what I would do is just choose automatic placements. If I were targeting something like, I don't know, Miami, Florida, which I know that I can get into the 3-4 million people, then I could be a little bit more aggressive, quote unquote, with my targeting. But that is not something that I want to do, because the minute I start targeting, lower than, let's say, 20,000 people, then it becomes really hard for the pixel to actually optimize this. And the reality is that I want this campaign to have continuity. If I target only a handful of people, then I know that I'll need to refresh my creative pretty much every week, because there's not a lot of people on this, this audience right here. Okay. So the budget is up to you. One question that I hate and that I get asked a lot is, what is the minimum budget that you recommend? Right? The budget is 100% up to you. The reality is that with Facebook and also with Google, with the first like 30 days, you're testing, you're creating your alpha campaign and your beta campaign and whatnot, and you're gathering keywords, and you're gathering data, you're buying data from Google. This is kind of the similar thing, right? So do not spend money that you're not willing to lose, quote unquote, initially when you're testing this out. You can totally start with $5 a day, okay, which is the bare minimum, which would be $150 per day. And you will get some reach. Here you can see that we will have 50 to 249 reach people per day, which I guess it will be okay. It will take you a long time to go through the entire audience, but this is 100% up to you, depending on what you wanna spend. I'm not gonna touch anything like this. We can go into manual bidding, and that is something that we can definitely go after in another session if you guys want to. But for the time being, I'm just going to go with lowest cost, and I'm being super broad with my targeting, and I'm letting Facebook optimize as much as possible, right? And now I'm going to click continue. Now I'm going to select my page, right? I'm going to select Semantic Mastery, for instance, and then I'm going to select an image that has to do with the that has to do with the offer that I'm making, right? So for instance, I can add more images right here, or actually, you know what? Let me browse the library. This has changed as well. So I don't know. Let's grab this one. Let's grab this 4 images, right? And as you can see, guys, the images that I'm using here, look at this. This is one of the images that we are using for the battle plan that is doing really well. This is a picture of Adam and myself on, this is a picture on Fun and Hacking Live. I think it was this year, last year. This is a picture on Adam's wedding. Look at this. This is a beauty, And this picture works really, really well with the battle plan. And you're saying, what does this has to do with the battle plan? It has nothing to do with the battle plan. But we're on Facebook, remember? So we want to be super social with our images. This is another one from last year. This is from, I think it's from Washington, D.C. when we're working, So these are social images that go with the stuff that we want to promote with our brand. If you have pictures of your clients with their kids, test them out. Even if you're, I don't know, if you're using like a tree service, if you're offering like a tree service, right? It just it has nothing to do with the stuff that you're offering, but it works. So we got 5 images right here. Let me get rid of this one, the first one. So we have 4 images right here, and now we're gonna enter the text. So the text is a big part of your ads. Okay, so the text, I like to always start with an image, with a question. So the question is, do you need a reliable tree pruning company, or rather, are you looking for a reliable tree pruning company, right? And guess what? Who's gonna click on this ad? People that are looking for, that are interested in this copy right here, right? So I'd like to keep copy pretty simple. So the way I like to do this is, are you looking for a reliable tree pruning company? We have more than 20 years of experience. Call us now at, and here you will put your tracking number. Okay. Or click on the button below and leave your details. We'll reach out to you ASAP. Something like that. And then headline, we can put tree pruning in Virginia, free estimates. All right, there we go. Now, something that I forgot when it comes to the images, you want to try that your images are square. And the reason why is because you will notice that 80% of your traffic will come from mobile. All right, so you want this to be square, and 80% of your traffic will come from mobile. That means that your landing pages, if you're using ClickFunnels, your landing pages need to be mobile friendly as well. Okay, so let me grab that one. Let's crop that one. Let's crop this one. Get Bradley in there. Crop this one. Well, this is kind of hard, but let's do that one or that one. Doesn't matter. And then let's crop this one and get these 2 guys right there. Okay, boom. So as you can see, these are gonna be square images with this copy. So as you can see them here. This is how they're gonna look on desktop. Again, most people will watch them on mobile, and that is how it works when it comes to the creative. Now, these are lead ads, right? These are lead ads. So the way it's gonna work is down here, I'm gonna click on new form, and I'm gonna name this something like, I don't know, Semantic Mastery Test 2019. And here I usually use more volume. Then you will be able to see how it looks here. And the good thing about lead ads is that people do not need to leave Facebook. We're going to go back to the presentation. I'm going to tell you guys about it, but people do not leave Facebook, right? Because they click on their ad, and this lead ad appears on their screen. right? So here I could put something like tree pruning service company in Virginia, right? Then use the image from your ad, that's fine. Then we can add a small paragraph. So we have 20 plus years of experience now serving bell pepper. Right, there we go. And here you can add your questions, okay? So a couple of things when it comes to lead ads. Of course, you can use email and full name, and for instance, phone number. And again, this is going to be data that they use to log into Facebook. And the good thing about this is that this is going to be pre-populated. So whenever they click or they tap on this ad, this is going to be pre-populated with their full name, email, and phone number. All right, which is pretty cool. Now, have in mind that one of the cons of lead ads is that if you're running ads for, I don't know, for an insurance agent or for a, I don't know, mortgage broker or whatever, you cannot ask for some sensitive information like what is your income or what is your house worth, you know, something like that. You cannot ask for that information on lead ads. You will need to move to conversion ads, you know, instead of lead ads. So, and then you can add some custom questions if you want to. Privacy policy, you know, and we can do something like semantic mastery, whoops, .com/privacy, okay? And then the thank you is gonna be thank you, you're all set, and your info is being sent to blah, blah, blah. You can change this, and then what you could do is you can also have a call to action button right here. So call us now, right? Call us now. And boom, you will put your tracking number again here, which is pretty cool. So, or not, you can say visit us online, and here you would put semantic mastery.com. All right. And now we're gonna save this, save the form. Once you click the finish button, you cannot edit this. So make sure that you make all of the edits that you want to have before you click on the finish. All right. And then you can add like a different form language, fill IDs, blah blah blah, and then your ad can be shared and anyone can submit the form. I would say only people who are delivered your ad directly can submit this form, right? Because you wanna be specific when it comes to your targeting, right? So gonna click finish. Let's see what did I miss? Oh, you'll be hearing from team shortly. Boom. I'm gonna save this. All right, and now I click finish, and I'm gonna go ahead and confirm this bad boy. All right. I'm gonna pause this because this has nothing to do with semantic mastery, and it has a picture of ourselves, and we're offering tree pruning service. You know what I'm saying? But and this was I was telling you guys about the UX. This is 100% new. But as you can see, now it's publishing and whatnot. It's gonna take a little bit, and then it's gonna go in review for a little bit, and once it's done, I want to share with you guys how it works. So let me stop this, okay? And let me show you guys how it looks. So if I go to edit and then I click on add preview, I go to manage Facebook post with comments, right? This is how it's gonna look, and then I click on this, boom, and this what's up. All right, this comes up. So tree pruning service company in Virginia, email, full name, as you can see, is pre-populated with my own stuff, and this is my email that I use to log into Facebook, so you know it's legit. And this is my phone number, which you also know is legit because Facebook will ask you for your phone number for confirmation details and whatnot. So it's really hard for you to have like less quality leads by using this method. All right. And then what you can do is you have two options when it comes to collecting the leads. You can actually set up a Zapier, a Zap, to put these bad boys into a spreadsheet, for instance, or you can go in right here, and then what you can do is you can, let me see, so you can actually well, this is not showing because it's in review, but once it's active, what you can do is when you come here to the app preview, will allow you to download list from Facebook itself. All right. So, but I would suggest hooking this up with Zapier to whatever, to a spreadsheet or whatever that's the case. All right. So now let's go back to the presentation again. The reason why I recommend that you start using lead ads for local lead gen is because, number one, people do not leave Facebook, and Facebook really likes this. Okay, whenever you're keeping people within the Facebook ecosystem, Facebook really likes this fact. Number one. Number two, people already know how to use Facebook. Okay, they're on Facebook all day, so they already know how to use Facebook. There's no confusion at all when it comes to leaving their details. All right. Now, again, we have a pre-populated form with their Facebook email and their details, which is pretty cool. Now, something else that my rep told me is that they are pushing lead ads heavily. That means that Facebook is, like Facebook, the commercial aspect of Facebook is. So this benefits you because you will get better placement on the auction. So you get better reach. So you're basically paying less per impression just because you're using lead ads. All right. And again, you can download the lead list or hook it up to a Google spreadsheet using Zapier. And one of the cons is that, again, you cannot ask for some sensitive information. So if you must get their house valuation, or if they're a homeowner, or if they, how much money they're making, or what's their income, what's their net worth, blah, 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 depending on what your client needs, then you can move into conversion ads, which is basically sending people into a conversion, into a landing page, right? And at that point, you can target pretty much everything. Or ask them, rather, pretty much everything. Now, again, how to use them. Remember, guys, that we're talking about interruption marketing here. Okay, so if you have like people coming in through your funnel because they typed in on Facebook tree prune in Virginia, and they coming into your funnel, they already want that service. But in this case, we need to give them a really good deal for them to actually leave us their details and be qualified. So the example that I use here, which is the free consultation, would be a bad example, a bad offer. You want to be a little bit more creative. So for instance, for an MMA gym, 3 examples that I came up with before this presentation was a free consultation would be a bad offer, because nobody wants a free consultation. But a first free class, or a free first class, that would be a medium size, or a medium, I would say, sexy offer. And free first 2 classes plus a self-defense course when you come in and sign up, that would be awesome. So you want to be a little bit creative when it comes to Facebook, so that the offer is enticing enough for them to stop watching kitten videos and start paying attention to what you're offering. Does that make sense? So this is something to consider as well, that is might be a little bit different than what you're used to do on the rest of the networks. Okay. So, and this is another question that I got from the Facebook, I think it was from the Facebook thread or from the Facebook group, I don't remember. How do you target? Because right now we're targeting everyone in the US, or everyone in Culpeper, right? So how do you target tree service? It's really hard. Like, people, do they like tree service companies? Well, I just show you how you can do that, right? You go really broad, and then in your copy and your images, you're calling them out. You call out the marketplace. So that would be idea number 1. So tree pruning, tree service, etc., etc., that is hard to target, right? For an MMA gym, it's easy because you target in a city, you target people that like martial arts, or that like MMA or UFC, or they're already training, right? So, but how do you target an injury attorney? How do you target hurricane services or storm services? How do you target emergency plumbers, right? Those are oh crap type of services. I need them right now. So here's a 4-step method that you can use to kind of build these audiences, so that you have them ready for when you need them, or that you have them ready so when you get an injury attorney or an emergency plumber, or you have people that are into renovation or into making their house look prettier or whatever in your area, you can reuse these audiences over and over again. Okay, so step 1 is to run an engagement campaign. Remember, guys, that we just went through this. So let me actually get rid of this before it goes live, because it might very well go live. I'm gonna just go ahead. If I can find how to delete this. Oh my God, this just changed everything. Oh God. All right, I'm just gonna turn it off. No worries. All right. So we just went through lead gen, okay? That is like one of the goals. But if you go ahead and create a campaign that is an engagement campaign, you can use valuable and short videos. So you can either get them done by somebody on Fiverr, or you can, if your client or if yourself wants to go ahead and position yourself as an authority, you can use this method. This is part of the Eagle method that I showed on Powerful Live 2018. Okay, you go out there to your target audience with valuable and short videos. I'm going to share with you guys a live example of this. Then step two is you put 25% of these video viewers in a custom audience. All right. So everyone that watched 25% of these video views on these videos that you put in here, they go into a custom audience. Now, step three is to target them with offers, because now they have behaviorally said that they are interested in, for instance, your injury attorney services, right? So you can start targeting them with offers today or tomorrow. Doesn't really matter. Maybe when you need them. And then step four, which is optional, you can engage them with more content. Okay. So for instance, emergency plumbing in Miami. I would put out 5 videos on how to avoid plumbing issues with your in your house, like how to avoid plumbing issues, what you need to have in mind where when revising the plumbing of your house, how to maintain it, how to properly do this and that. So 5 videos. Again, you can get this on Fiverr, or you can record them yourself or your client if they want to. Now the target area, which in this case will be Miami, ages 35 plus, men and women. This would be my targeting, super broad. And instead of homeowners, which are people that this is a targeting that I cannot target anymore. It was possible at some point, but Facebook has taken it out. You can target people that are into home renovation, home improvement, blah blah blah, because you know that they are either architects or homeowners, right? So I would be super broad with my targeting. Then I would put everyone in a 25% engagement bucket. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Then I would retarget them with lead ads, as I just showed you, with a free gut cleaning or something like that, and an assessment. And then the additional audiences that you can use for this case would be engagers and retargeting. So everyone that visit their page but they do not buy or they do not become a lead, and engagers, meaning whenever you're running engagement on these 5 videos, you will get engagers going after your product. So let me actually share with you guys how this would look, because this is exactly what I'm doing here for Semantic Mastery. So all right, so here's let me actually go back to the previous version for as long as we have it. So as you can see, Facebook just changed everything. So this is our engagement campaign. And what I'm doing, so as you can see, if I click edit, the objective is post engagement. It's not video views, it's post engagement. And the reason why is because I have tested and split test video views versus engagement, and engagement always get me a better consumption. And I'm going to tell you guys why that is important in a second. So engagement is my campaign. And then as you can see, this is the campaigns that I'm running, which are the interest. So this is the lookalike audience plus interest. So actually, let me go into this and let me show you the targeting. So these are small clips from Ham Day Hangout. Remember that every time we do a Ham Day Hangout, we clip it into the questions, right? So I went through the past year of our YouTube channel for Semantic Mastery. I went through all of our videos for the past year and went into Google YouTube Analytics, and then I ordered them by views, or not by views, but not by amount of views, by consumption. Okay, so I wanted to see over the past year which of those clips or entire video library, which were the ones that had the most consumption, meaning they're being consumed by your audience. And these are the 5 that I found. All right, so I added them here. And as you can see, I'm only spending $4 per day, $4 a day per video. I increased this because I disabled some of this. And here I'm using a lookalike audience, which are all of our buyers. So battle plan buyers or SAM card lists and our general leads, a lookalike audience. And then men for the most part, because people, like most of the people that are consumer content are men. And I'm layering this, right? I'm layering this lookalike audience with interest. So for instance, AdWords, conversion marketing, Google Analytics, landing page, lead gen, pay-per-click, digital marketing, blah, blah, blah. So these are interests of people that consume semantic mastery content. Okay, so this would be your target demographic, whatever that is. It might just be Miami homeowners, or it can be Virginia homeowners. Doesn't really matter. The main point is that on this step one, you actually target those folks that you want to reach with your product or service. On this case, we're targeting, people that are into the stuff that we offer. And we are also excluding people that like semantic mastery. And the reason why is because I want this campaign to be 100% cold. I want this campaign going out there, and I want to tell Facebook, hey, Facebook, show these little snippets of videos to those people that are willing or that are prone to consumer content, that are not within our ecosystem. The placements, you can test this out. I'm only using feeds and suggested videos, and the reason why is because most of our audience consume content on these two placements, where they're not on Instagram, not by a long shot. We're a bunch of dudes. We're not taking selfies and uploading them to Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So nobody's using Instagram from our audience, and then you can leave the rest the same. But if I go into the actual creative, the video, let me actually share with you. So what I did was to upload this snippet into the semantic mastery page, right? So let me actually show it how it looks. So is 301 redirection of expired domain a viable tactic in SEO? I know that at this point we're not talking about 301 redirections anymore, but based off of data, this was one of our most consumed videos overall. Okay, so watch this video to learn more. We have a 10-minute video. This would be considered a long video on Facebook. Okay, 10-minute video. And if you have additional SEO questions, go here, bonesemanticmastery.com/update. All right. Now let me show you something, guys, and this is pretty cool. Let me go to lifetime date. Let me actually share with you guys something. So if I go to video engagement on my columns, right here. So take a look at this. This is a 10-minute video, right? This is a 10-minute, almost 11-minute video. So take a look at this. We spent $37 on this video right here, and we got 53 people consuming 100% of our video. So if I divide that, 37 divided by 53, I am getting a full video consumption for under $1, for 70 cents. We're talking about people in the US, the UK, Canada, and Australia, people that are within our target demographic, and they're consuming a 10-minute video. They're staying put during 10 minutes for less than 70 cents. This is huge, because imagine what it will take your contractor to run a video on, for instance, on the TV. How much they will charge them per minute. On radio ads, how much they will charge them per minute. Here, we're getting a full consumption for less than 70 cents. This is big time. But the thing that I want to share with you guys is that if you go to custom audiences, right? If you go here and then you click on audiences, if you go to audiences, then you can create an audience, and then you create a custom audience, and then you can go to video right here, Facebook sources, choose a content type, 25% of your video. Then I'll choose the video. I'll go into semantic mastery page. And then let me see. So which one is it? So how to use 301 redirections to push power. Select this video, click confirm. I can put up to 365 days. This is why if you want to mine an audience, this is one of the best ways to do it. And the reason why is because, again, you can stay, the people will stay in that audience for 365 days, okay, which is a year from now, which is awesome. And here I can put 301 redirections watched 25%. So every time somebody watches 25% of this video, they will be put in this bucket. And then you can select this audience, which is here, right? You can select this audience and then target them with ads. This is one of the methods that I've been using to kind of, build those audiences. And then I can go ahead and run ads to these folks, and, it can be a slam dunk. All right. So this is how I would potentially target these type of services, which are not as black and white to target on Facebook. All right. So that's gonna be making it for me today on the thingy. All right, cool. So I wanted to answer some questions if we have a little bit of time. I don't know if we have any questions on the page.
Yeah, I'm sure we do.
All right, cool. Yeah, we do have. Let's see. So Walt was asking, you said lower quality work better on Facebook compared to Google Display Network, then say quality of the images is critical and confused. Okay, no, yeah, let me clarify that, Walt, for you. So I'm talking about your image, like how engaging or how enticing your image is really, really important. But the quality of your image, like how polished it is, like for instance, you know those pictures that I just shared with you that are like the four of us hanging out in Washington D.C., for instance, those are taken with the phone, right? Those are taken with the phone. So what it means is that, and those are outperforming stock photography left and right. All right, that's what I meant. So less polished images work better than stock photos or super quality videos, just because of how, the platform, how it works, and it's still a social network. Does that make sense? I hope that answers your question. What happens if the user edits their information on the lead form? Can they put in their junk info? Yes, they can. They could. Yes, they could. They could. Yep.
He
Okay.
also another one just came through. I don't know if you have to refresh. Sometimes you have to refresh the page to see
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, how much is your cost per sale on the beta plan? So on the beta plan, we're going anywhere between $40 to $50 for a $5 for a $17 buyer. But the main point of the beta plan for us is to break even on the front end. So we have roughly a 56 to a 65 average order value, right? So anytime we're below $50, we're happy, and we want to scale. Right now, we're tweaking the funnel so that we can decrease the cost per acquisition and increase the lifetime value. And the reason why is because we want to expand that campaign as much as possible. And that is our break-even funnel, right? A break-even funnel allows you to put buyers, not just any type of leads, but buyers into whatever back-end program you've got. Like for instance, our mastermind. So those are the numbers that we're managing right now.
Very cool. Did you I didn't did you hear or answer his question about changing on the lead ads, the info?
Yeah. I did. They can put their junk info. They can, but for the most part, you can follow what. So if you're giving something for free, like I don't know, a free coupon or whatever, you want to keep it to. You don't want to give that on the thank you page for the lead ad. You want to send that via email, right? Like treat lead ads as you would treat your landing page, but so treat lead ads as you would treat your landing page, but do not give away anything on the thank you page. Now
Right.
the reality is that being pre-populated makes easier for them to send the real information other than fake information. But if you're delivering something, deliver that via email. You know?
So have you run any campaigns? I'm just curious for my own benefit.
Yeah.
Selfish here, but plus a lot of our members also deal with contractors. Have you done lead ad campaigns for contractors at all?
Yes. Yes.
And
100%.
like, is there a typical average that you? I know you're good at what you do, so somebody like me, I wouldn't probably get anywhere near your numbers. But like, is there a typical average of cost per lead that you can that you would like, or at least a range of cost per lead?
Yeah, a good question. So the reality is that depends a lot on the area, right? Because there are areas where the competition is higher. This is a lot. This is an auction, just like Google, right?
Okay.
So if you're going after a lead ad or a search or whatever in Virginia, Culpeper might be different than if you're going for a bigger city or for a smaller city. So I would say test it out. I don't know, man. Like for instance, I've been going after a campaign for a chiropractor that I've been working on, and for the past 6 months, I think that we spent. And I think I told this on. I said this on Hamday Hangout yesterday. We spent $160,000 of the span of 6 months, and we generated almost 4,000 appointments, confirmed appointments that paid $49, and we got them for $42 or $40. But each of those appointments are worth $300 for the guy, and this is only on the Dallas area. right? Which is, it's a big city, it's a big population in the millions and whatever. But whatever makes sense for you. I would say that for something like Culpeper or something like the suburbs or whatever, you could get them pretty cheaply. I would say maybe for anywhere from a couple bucks to $10 maybe, or something like that.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a hell of a lot cheaper than Google search ads. That's
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is 100% much cheaper than it has other like challenges, but it's definitely cheaper than Google for the most part, like without any question. We can actually do a case study. If you're up for it, we can do a case study for whatever client you want to test. We can do that. So
Yeah, I've got a couple that I'd like to test with. Actually, I just actually got a brand new client. He just signed on this week in Culpeper here. He's an HVAC contractor, and that might be a really good case study because that would also make me look like a rock star if I could generate him some leads right away. Because we're literally almost starting from scratch with his
right,
Google assets, and so
right.
maybe I'll get with you offline about that or outside of this webinar, and we could set up a campaign. I'll fund it and all that, and see what we can do. And that would be kind of cool just to offer that to him for free so I could learn. You know what I mean?
Sounds good, man. Yeah,
So
yeah. We can add it on top of whatever you're doing. So for sure. Yeah. Let's circle
cool.
back this week. Walt was asking, are there any industries where you have had epic fails using Facebook ads? So Facebook ads have degrees of complexity, right? I would say that the hardest thing to do on Facebook ads right now are stuff like we're trying to do on Semantic Mastery, like selling info products and selling courses and selling, some sort of coaching and consulting type of businesses. The reason why is because if you think about it, like if you have a leaky faucet, you need to call the plumber, right? If you're if you have a toothache, you go to the dentist, and that's it. It's like if you want to learn jujitsu, you go to a martial arts gym. But if you want to learn how to launch an online business, or if you want to learn how to grow your local agency, there are a million things that you could do. So that's why I think that for local, there's a big opportunity on Facebook, because people do not need to be indoctrinated. They just need to say, okay, they know they have a need. Why should I choose you before, somebody else? But the question is, all right, so I've had my fails when it comes to specifically info product marketing, which is, my bread and butter. I'm trying to get out of that and go into much more local and brick and mortar. And if you think about it, um, stuff you need to think about this for a minute. So businesses that are already doing well, that they have referrals, whatever, but they're not leveraging Facebook ads. Okay, it's like businesses that are doing well, but they're not leveraging local SEO. Well, this is the same. Like businesses that are already doing well, they have a proven process, they have a selling process and whatnot, but they're not selling on Facebook yet. For those ones, it's mostly, for the most part, it's a done deal. It's like super easy.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's cool. I might have to take the dive and come over to the dark side and check out some Facebook ads, man.
Yeah, man, for sure. It's
I've been
fun. It's
saying
a lot
that
of
for
fun.
years, and I've just been putting it off because I've never really enjoyed Facebook at all. But like for a while, I knew it was very difficult to get to convert local ads. But it sounds like it's gotten a lot better,
Yeah.
much easier
Yeah.
to do now. So
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We have a lot of tools, and the algorithm has become so much, I would say, smarter, that you can definitely kill it. So yeah, let's do that. I think that we had some results, quote unquote, when it came to the MMA gym, not the MMA gym, but the CrossFit gym that we ran for a little bit. For some other reasons, we had to stop that campaign, but that is something that we could, for whatever you want to do, we can definitely run that. No
sweet,
problem.
yeah. Well, that gym closed, so
Yeah, yeah.
anyway.
So what are some good conversion rates for various industries that have been successful? Oh well, dude, that's a big ass question. So I don't know, webinar funnels for info products, 3% conversion rate. Overall. Um, I don't know, man. Like 10% conversion rate for break-even funnels on the front end. I don't know. Like I don't know what to answer. It's a super broad question. So if you have a specific question, I can be more helpful. So
Okay, I'm just typing. Apparently, a bunch of people couldn't get into the webinar today because on the Bond site, and I'm wondering if it has to do with us switching people over from the JV Zoo subscriptions, if somehow it canceled their access. You know what I mean? Because we had
Yeah,
people comment say they couldn't get in.
yeah, probably. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, so I have 15 more minutes answering questions, and then I'll have to bounce. But
Yeah, if you guys have any more questions, post them. Otherwise, we're going to get into just regular questions, which we
yeah,
only have a few anyways, and we could wrap it up a little bit early if needed, but a couple more coming through.
yep, sounds good. So I'm a part of Keep It Local. Think BNI, but much better. Business group that is successfully using Facebook and Facebook Messenger to recommend service businesses. Whenever someone local asks for a service, say Best Plumbers, works like a live recommendation service. Okay, that that is cool. I'm not sure if that's a question, but that's pretty cool, man. So Messenger, not something that we dive into. That I could do another one if you guys need to, or I can do a walkthrough of Messenger ads, which is also pretty cool. But I think that lead ads and conversion ads, those are like my top two go to now. Let's see. Jim, here now, lead ads or landing pages? Both, both. Um, Jordan, have you applied any Facebook principle to Pinterest ads? All right, so I don't have a lot of experience with Pinterest ads other than last year. Well, up until February this year, I was kind of I was offering fractional CMO services for a company that they launched last year. I think it was in March last year. They were a small startup. They did hydroponic gardens, right? So they would focus on hydroponic gardens, and they had a really good product. They still do have a really good product. And I was like kind of advising them. I was running all of the Facebook ads campaign, like think about $150,000 per month on Facebook ads, and I was advising Google, and Google put one of their best rep worldwide, Sam Bernardchick, um, to work on this campaign based off of Google onboarding process, and then we have Pinterest running. The thing that we could do, because Pinterest. So here's the thing. Here's what I think about Pinterest. Pinterest is more like it's not as advanced when it comes to the ad platform as it is Google or Facebook. They're behind on that regard, and they know about it, and anything that has to do with conversion ads, they're not up there. And so that is one thing. But they will put a rep to work on your campaigns. So it's like Facebook telling you, yeah, we're going to run campaigns for you. So that is pretty cool on Pinterest. The only thing that we could do, because Pinterest is a combination between search, right? It's a search engine, right? So Google, but it has a lot of demographic data. So a lot of the stuff that we could do from Facebook to Pinterest is to kind of test the waters when it comes to creatives, messaging, right? Copy and whatnot, and demographics, and run that on Pinterest, and it did really well when it comes to demographics. And not only that, but retargeting. So we will get a shit ton of traffic from Pinterest, and they will finish converting them on Facebook and vice versa. So that's all my experience when it comes to Pinterest. I do not know how to run Pinterest ad campaigns. Let's see. Pete is asking, have you tested video produced from Fiverr gigs? Yes, 100%, Pete. They work. In fact, Facebook will allow you to will allow you to do images and turn them into videos. So really, really simple slideshows. You can do that within Facebook. So when you're uploading your ads, it will prompt up and tell you, do you wanna create a slideshow out of this? And sometimes videos get better placement than images or other placements, but not always they will convert better than images, if that makes sense. All right. Adam is asking, timing on this was perfect. Hernan, thanks. Anytime, brother. I'm going to set up a couple of campaigns this week in home services. I'll watch again today. Are there any other videos that we have you would recommend? Didn't we do something for Facebook, Bradley? Do you remember? I think we did.
We did somewhere.
Should be on the
Mastermind Archives.
Yeah, should be on the Mastermind Archives, Adam. So yeah, we have that. And then, are you leveraging your specific traffic for SEO signal boost in any ways? Maybe Marco can wait into. I am not. But that is something that I don't know. I haven't personally tested. Maybe that is something that we could test it out. I don't know. How about you, Marco or Bradley? Have you guys done that? I know that you're doing it with Google, maybe.
I'm doing it with Google, but not Facebook, just because I've never done any Facebook ads. But I don't know if Marco has either.
No, no, no ads, period, other than YouTube. And I use them for a very specific purpose. Like I know I'm always talking about art, activity, relevance, trust, and authority. And the one that we're usually missing is activity. But we know that ads can produce activity, and it's hyper targeted, right? Laser targeted activity. And the way that I use that is I don't necessarily want it at tier one. What I want is the rest of my links to get action somewhere along the link chain, right? The slipstream that Becker used to talk about. You have to light the match in your slipstream, in your tiers. Because what happens is if there's just one visitor, guys, one coming from YouTube in at tier three, and I've talked about this before, that tier three actually becomes, it doesn't actually become tier two, but it's treated like tier 2A. For example, it kind of, everything gets pulled in, and then tier two kind of bumps into tier one. Everything is brought in because of the relevance, because of the activity out at tier three. And so when Dedia handles the link building, I like to set something up. And the way I do it, not necessarily through YouTube, but I have a Fiverr, I have a provider that knows exactly what I need. You need to go out at this tier, and if it's local, then it has to be through a local proxy. I don't give a fuck how you find it, right? Residential or however you do it. Just don't use Hide My Ass and don't use Illuminati because Google is onto those. But use anything else that you have to charge me for it. I'll gladly pay 25, $50. Because when you do that, when you get that hyper targeted local person going out there and clicking on your stuff and coming in, everything else comes in. And so yes, it's a fabulous boosting signal for SEO, and you'll see everything else. It just starts to light up, and then Google will be kind enough to send you more test traffic or organic traffic, in fact, to see if that's replicated, and if you're offering the person out of those tiers what they're looking for, and that person comes in, what Google is then looking for is for that person to finalize whatever task it is that you set. This is where uh, Tag Manager comes into play, and analytics, right? When you set whatever it is that you want as your end goal, you want that person, let's say, to fill out a form. Well, Google will track that and see if that's completed. Guys, when you can do that, that's fucking, I don't know. You just found a diamond mine, and you can mine it all day long because Google sent you someone. They trusted you enough to send someone. That someone came in and they completed the task. The task is then shown in Tag Manager, shown in analytics, it's shown everywhere. You're showing Google, hey, look, someone came in. You trusted me. They went in. They completed the task that I set for them. You can see that they completed it. And then Google will just keep rewarding you, and you'll just see it time after time after time, how Google will just start rewarding you. Now, mind you, Adam, you don't want to get heavy footed on this because people are not out at tier two and tier three all the time, right? Those are tiers where you don't get tons of traffic unless it's something viral, something being shared all over the place. That's different. Then all bets are off and you can do whatever you want. But right at the beginning, when you're doing this, it's nice and slow. You get that Fiverr provider to do the task the way that you need it done. You can have that Fiverr, as long as you know that the completion is going to come through, is going to be fake. To Google, it's not going to be fake because it's someone filling out the form or making the call or whatever it is that you want that person to do. Man, when that happens, it was like fucking magic, and Google just keeps rewarding you. So that's how specifically, that's how I use geo specific traffic for SEO signal boosts.
You got it. That is pretty cool. And with Facebook ads, you can target that up until the zip code level. So you could, throw a bunch of zip codes. Let's say that you want to target, a specific area, and you can target a bunch of zip codes, and then you can run a traffic campaign or a landing page campaign, and that could actually work. So I need
Now,
to
can
test it
you
out.
you can run traffic to any URL, even like a third-party site type stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Cool. I could see some tests coming in the near future.
Sounds good.
So,
All right,
all
guys.
right.
So
Well,
what?
looks like nobody else asking any more questions, so you're free to go, Hernan. Thank you for
All right. Yeah, no
coming
problem.
by and taking care of that for everybody. That's
Yeah,
at
my
least a
pleasure.
taste.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot more from there's a lot more where that came from. So if you guys have any questions, go through the recording. If you guys have any questions, post them on the Facebook group. Tag me in those questions, because otherwise I won't be able to see them. And if you guys want to know more, or if you want to throw ideas, and if you want to do this again, we can definitely do it. So it
Cool.
was a pleasure.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
Awesome.
that.
I'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Hernan. Later.
See ya.
All right. So we still got a handful of questions. Okay, cool. Some comments coming in from Adam and Walt saying thanks. All right. So we still got a few questions to go through. Let me grab the screen real quick from pre-posted questions, and we'll finish up here shortly. So I started a new project. I can't really share it yet, but I started a new project that once I get some results, I'll share with you guys. And I'm already thinking about it. It would be a really good actual. It's not necessarily a local project. I mean, it isn't to a degree, but not like a typical type of local project. So I'll share more information with you guys once I have some results. Right now, it's still new and I'm testing stuff, but I could see using. I'm setting up some ad campaigns, for YouTube stuff, anyways. But I could see using Hernan's Facebook method and using Facebook ads. It's a type of audience or type of business that would probably do very well using Facebook ads for generating leads. So anyways, I'll talk about that in a bit. That said, also just on an aside, for Semantic Mastery, we set quarterly goals. So like 90-day goals. And one of the things that our next 90-day period starts on May 14th. And so we're actually in the process now of each of us go into a Google Doc and write down our what we call issues that we're going to bring up for potential, our main goals for the next 90-day period. And one of them that I put down was to work more on developing YouTube ad campaigns for both growing MGYB as well as for growing Semantic Mastery's YouTube subscriber base. And so I know that's not necessarily local, guys, but it's something that I've been putting off because I've been focusing on just strictly local stuff for the last, 6 months or so. And I'd really like to get into doing a little bit more general marketing stuff as opposed to just local marketing stuff, just because we need it specifically. Like we've been putting off trying to grow our subscriber base other than just organic growth, which is growing steady, but we could grow it a lot faster with some concerted effort. And so it's something I want to do. So it's likely that I'm going to be doing that as one of my primary goals next 90 days, which means you guys are going to get a lot of YouTube ads training. I don't know if many of you are going to be interested in that or not. Well, I guess we'll probably take a poll, but I think it's something that I want to do for Semantic Mastery and for MGYB anyways. So I'm going to be doing it, whether or not you guys want to see it or not. That'll be up to you. If so, then I'll make sure I do a lot of training on it.
But by the way, just by mentioning subscribe to our channel during our Hump Day Hangouts, we've grown about 2,500 subscribers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we could do that just from the reach that we have in our organic YouTube videos, imagine what we could do if we just started pushing people through ads, however many we could get, because I'm sure that you could hone it down to where we're spending 4 or 5 cents per acquisition. So I think it can really grow. And then, as I said, Google does reward you. Google, YouTube, I use that interchangeably. But yeah, you get rewarded from people interacting with the channel. So I've seen some really good growth.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, we got 6,300 subscribers. I'd like to see us jump to, in the last 28 days. That's about average. We usually gain about roughly 100 subscribers per month.
Yep.
And that's been about average for many months now. It ranges, like I said, that's a good average number. But I'm saying with a little bit of concerted effort, a subscribe ad campaign and that kind of stuff, like some remarketing, especially remarketing ads. So I'm going to start recording a lot more videos, in-stream videos that we could use for remarketing. Say, hey, you do SEO work or digital marketing, you need to go subscribe to our channel. And that'll be the call to action. And just real short in-stream interruption videos like, and then we can do targeting through audience targeting, through in-market audience targeting, which is actually kind of cool because I didn't mean to get off on a tangent, but let me just show you guys real quick something. I want to go into the Google Ads dashboard, and we only got a couple questions anyway, so I want to show you something. The in-market audiences works really well, especially for YouTube ads. It works great for display ads now too. You guys know that. I've done some training on it recently. But let's get into video campaigns so I can show you something. So let's see. We'll take a look at this. We'll go to audiences. Okay, so if we go to browse and go to in-market life audiences or life event audiences, and you go to in-market audiences, and we'll scroll down to business services. Like, for example, you guys could be doing this for your own agencies as well. Advertising and marketing services right there. So these are people this is a bucket of people that Google knows are actually looking for advertising and marketing services, or specifically SEO and SEM, search engine marketing services. So those of you that are looking to grow your agency or have lead generation assets. Now, I know we haven't talked about that yet. So that's what I'm talking about in the next quarter. It begins May 14th for us. That's something I'm going to be getting a lot into, is developing YouTube ad campaigns. And they've got a lot of different type of ad campaigns now too, besides just in-stream or video discovery ads, right? That's what we used to always have. But now they have inside YouTube, it's like a sequence ad. There's a sequential ad set that you can create. That's a series, I think up to as many as 6 videos that Google will automatically display the next video in the series to somebody that has viewed, like, let's say video number 1, and it's a sequential ads campaign. Then Google will automatically display the next time that they get served an in-stream ad. If they had watched a particular percentage of that first ad video that they viewed, then Google will automatically put them into the second video in the sequence, and then the third video in the sequence. So something like that is, you can test a lot with, and I'll be testing a lot with over the next quarter if that ends up being one of my primary goals. We try to choose one thing per quarter to work on. Each one of us does. And I know something else that we're going to be doing is updating local GMB Pro or local PR Pro or the local PPC Pro or local Ads Pro course that we're going to be developing. So we've got courses coming up in the futures too. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but this might be like my secondary project. But my point is, those of you developing or trying to grow your agencies or have lead generation assets, video lead gen system is coming out next week, which is you actively going out and outbound marketing, right? Outbound marketing is where you are contacting people, sending messages specifically to prospects, hoping that they will reply and respond. That's what video lead gen system is all about. But inbound marketing would be this, right? That's where people come to you based upon where they've seen, your ads. And so again, with business services, advertising and marketing services, if you do more than just SEO and SEM, search engine marketing, then you could obviously select the broader bucket. But if you're specifically just doing SEO stuff, you could select that and then start using that. Guys, I mean, think about you just set your geographic targeting to your city or your state or whatever it is that you want, your county or a wider service area if you service multiple counties. And the same thing can apply if you've built lead gen assets in cities that aren't anywhere near you, is my point. Like, for example, Arlington, Tennessee or Memphis, Tennessee area, I could have video ads that are serving people, only people that within the Memphis area that have been actively seeking search SEO and SEM services, and explain that I've got lead generation assets in that area, if or I could produce leads for them from search engine marketing if they were interested. All I'm saying is it's something that you could do that could help to generate some more leads for your business, because again, the targeting has gotten so much better. You see what I'm saying? So anyways, I just kind of wanted to point that out and see if you guys, that's something we're going to be doing in the coming weeks. Hopefully I'm going to be testing some YouTube ad stuff anyways. I'm hoping that it ends up becoming one of my primary objectives for Semantic Mastery over the next quarter, just because it's something we've put off for a long time. We want to grow our subscriber base to over 10K, and we've been talking about it for a year. I think when we passed 5,000 is when we started talking about it. So that's been about a year ago, and I've never had the time to do it. Just haven't taken the time to do it. So